Here were the vibes of the party. Expectations were so high. I was super excited to go. I did go as someone with 50,000 followers for one half a little early. Expectations.
The word that tends to be synonymous with the word influencer these days is the word ungrateful. And if you've been touching grass and living a life that is not particularly chronically online, you probably haven't heard of the infamous influencer birthday party. But since that's not really the life that I'm living, today we're gonna break it down. Before we break this down, let me give you my qualifications. With this particular situation, I'm in like an interesting position. I make commentary videos on the internet that tend to do pretty well sometimes, but I'm also a makeup influencer that gets invited to these events. And let's get this more than clear, I am very grateful for my life, okay? I wake up in the morning, my heart's palpitating, I have anxiety, I know all these things can be taken away the snap of a finger with a change of an algorithm. And before we continue, let's address something. Being annoying and being rude, it's bad, but it's not illegal. And especially now, when in the influencer atmosphere, there are people who are doing things that are a little bit less savory than complaining about someone's birthday party. Let's just keep things into perspective, right? That's just what I want to say before we begin this. So picture this, you're an influencer, right? You have around like 60,000 followers. Your friend gets invited to an influencer party. The person who's hosting this party that you're being invited to has around 2 million followers, someone that you don't know. If I was in this position, I would feel rather removed, right? You're like 2 people away, probably even more than that. Who knows if the person that invited you even knows this person? And generally, when I'm invited to events, my expectations are always low, right? But this was not the case. This was not the case for this young woman.
I'm going to Reagan 777 birthday party. Here is my OOTD. I am a +1. I'm so excited to be there. Just people watch. I am a psych major, so one thing about me is I'm gonna analyze. This is Sheehan.
Psych majors are like people that do shrooms. Like they have to tell you. Like like their head will literally explode if they don't tell you that they're a psych major. But the people that manage to get past psych major and become psychologists are like terrified to let you know that they work in psychology. I feel like I don't need to illustrate this point because like, I mean, the story itself will just unravel this point and really just like write it in like red paint across the screen. Just because you're logging onto Quizlet, pressing the little button, flipping the little note card, learning what dementia is, does not mean that you can go out in the real world and analyze anything, okay?
And Target boots, Giddy by Lizzo bodysuit. Coach, I got it from Facebook Market. Wish me luck. Bye.
Okay, well that was the outfit. Awesome, perfect, she's ready. She goes to the party. She comes back home. And then she makes another video. Let's watch it.
Because I went to an influencer's birthday party and I said that I didn't have fun, so I decided to leave. For some context, here were the vibes of the party. Like, do you guys blame me for wanting to leave a little early?
Yeah, man. I'm really excited for you to tackle the field of psychology and give other people advice on how they should live their life and act. So if you didn't catch that, she's taken a clip of this birthday party where, you know, it's a little sparse, and she's added some squeaky shoe sounds to it. Genuinely jaw-dropping behavior, actually. I would also like to say that she has used this format before, this I've been canceled format. She made another video in July called I Got Canceled for Partying in Vegas. I'll spare you the tale. She was invited to a bachelorette party in Vegas, and the bride was not big on drinking, but she was big on drinking, and blah, blah, blah. The bride and some of the other people left, and she was stranded in Vegas, and whatever, okay? She's just used this format before. It was relatively popular. The comments are turned off, even though she asked.
Was I in the wrong? What are your thoughts?
So, I don't really know. Making the squeaky shoes edit, not necessary. You know, not really necessary. The video was enough. Would that video sway my opinion for a birthday party? Not really. I've invited a lot of people to my birthday parties and people have not shown up. It's a thing. You know, it sucks. Honestly, if anything, if I went to a birthday party that I was invited to as like a +1 and I saw that there weren't a lot of people there, you know, the feeling that I would actually be feeling would be sympathy.
Guys blame me for wanting to leave a little early. Expectations were so high. I was super excited to go. I did go as a +1, so my friend was invited. I posted an OOTD, which is where I'm getting a lot of these comments. You can see I am so excited.
I'm still pretty hung up on the fact that she was a +1. For example, a makeup company invites me to a summer party. I invite my friend who loves that brand, that likes makeup, and can be a normal fucking person. Those are kind of my 3 criteria. When I'm a +1, when someone else invites me to an event, the biggest thing that I focus on is decentering myself from the event. And a lot of times when I go, I run into like at least 12 people that I know. But still, I was still a +1. The brand did not invite me personally. But I'm not going up with the same amount of vigor that I would if I was the one being invited. I asked my friend, do you want me to take any pictures of you? Do you want, like, can I help you do your job? So there is a difference. You weren't invited. You were a +1. Okay? Decenter yourself. Saying your expectations were high for an influencer party is just extremely telling that you just don't get invited to stuff. Either that or you are one of the girls at the events that make things weird for everyone else. It's these people who feel like everyone needs to just be thankful that they've been invited. And you can tell that she falls into that category just by the statement of, my expectations were really high, and also, can you blame me for wanting to leave early? Quite frankly, you were lucky to even be invited, right? Like, so the sentiment of like, oh, you should have known that I was super excited for my OTD video. First of all, dystopian ass sentence. Second of all, I don't take any emotion from vapid short form content. Like, you set up the camera, you told us that your outfit was from Shein. That's all I got from that. There was no organic emotion in that like 40-second video. No, I couldn't tell, actually, that you were excited. Sorry.
I work for the dating app Bumble and to put on ambassador and influencer events, collab with bars all the time, so we would cover drinks, food, and even sometimes Ubers. So that was kind of my expectation, and my expectations weren't met.
I'm aware that this is not something that a lot of people experience, but this is something that I kind of deal with in my life very frequently, these types of events. A lot of the times you get ready, they send you an Uber code. It's like a $50 to $100 Uber code. And when you get there, you're greeted with a cocktail. Generally, there'll be a theme for the event, and there'll be like 4 or 5 like themed cocktails and bartenders who are serving free drinks. There will sometimes be free food. They'll rent out a restaurant, a bar, whatever. That's one of the biggest parts of networking as an influencer in LA, New York, wherever. I'm not gonna pretend that it's not fun. It's super fun. You get to go to a free party and hang out with your friends and meet new people. It's great. It's one of the perks of being an influencer. And personally, there's no time that I've ever gone to one where I haven't been so severely grateful and just shocked that this is my life. I can't believe this is my life. And because I hold that attitude, I don't go in with the expectation that these things are going to be accommodated for me.
Are you here to talk about the birthday party with us? Do you want to talk about the birthday party?
Even excluding all of those things, this was not an event. This was a birthday party. Okay? So, what?
Just felt like I was gonna have to spend money to hang out in the same space as someone, and that's just not something me or my friends wanted to do. I really tried for a couple of hours and it just wasn't the vibe. Not comfortable and having fun somewhere, don't stay. Like, you're never obligated to do that. So
Generally, when it's someone else's birthday party, you're spending money. You're buying a present, you're Ubering to a restaurant, you're paying for your meal or the birthday girl or boy or person's meal. There's some type of monetary exchange that's going on. If you didn't want to spend money at someone else's birthday party, that's a really surefire way of knowing that you probably shouldn't have been there. My favorite compliment that I get that people give me about my content is that it is thought-provoking. I've said something that resonates with somebody and it's made them either change the way they think about something or change the way they act. I hate when influencers try to weaponize this type of content. When she's like, oh, like you shouldn't force yourself to be somewhere that you don't want to be. You should never do that. That's like the big sister genre of like TikTok that so many people have kind of like tried to feed into. Yeah, if you don't want to be somewhere, don't be there, leave. But it was everything that came after that That's kind of the problem.
Because of that, it was just a flop in my opinion.
Your birthday that I was a +1 to, it was kind of a flop in my opinion. It was just my opinion. It was just my opinion that, you know, I had a really, really bad time, but just in my opinion, it was a terrible, terrible event that you put on for your birthday. Me, a stranger, I think that it was a really bad time, but it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. It's the psychology major for me. It's the psychology major for me. Like, hello? What?
I want to clarify, it might look like an intimate event because not a lot of people showed up, but it's supposed to be like a big bar club scene. And today, as long as the birthday girl had fun, that is all that mattered. And it did look like she personally was having fun.
Listen, the only person that's like affected by the amount of people that are there is the person throwing the party. Clout chasing to make the numbers on the following list go up, but in a very strategic way. After this video came out, a plethora of people who were at the party posted their POVs actually having fun. You know, at a party, at an event, there's a lot of dynamics going on. Someone might have a really great time, someone might have a really terrible time. And so Marina made a follow-up video addressing the haters. Let's give it a watch.
It's gonna be the last time I'm speaking on this unnecessarily large drama.
Let's talk about the caption. Getting bullied by a larger creator's fans for sharing an opinion on my page. Hell will genuinely freeze over the day that influencers learn that the consequences of their actions, that concept, that very basic concept, very real. It is such a self-centered trait to package something that you said as your opinion when it's just rude. Yeah, I have plenty of opinions, and a lot of them are rude, and I keep that shit to myself. And sometimes, if it's worth it, you can share that opinion in an appropriate setting with people that you trust. And if you share it on a bigger platform, maybe you do it for clicks, maybe you do it for clout, but there are tasteful ways to do this. And you did not manage that. Tactfulness eludes this entire situation, to be honest.
Always used my TikTok page to talk about my experiences and story time. These are topics that are anything from college to dating to boys, whatever it may be. It's been extremely honest on here. Scroll on my page and see that.
We've always had daily vlogging on YouTube, but TikTok is such an intimate way to learn about how other people live. If you're watching like a daily vlogging video on YouTube and you get 35 minutes, you get a pretty big dose of someone's personality. A 10-minute TikTok is still enough time to breed this level of like distance and unrelatability. Basically what I'm trying to say in really simple terms is that you can be really fake on TikTok. It's like a really idealized version of someone's life, and people are pretending that this like idealized version of them being vulnerable is like this insanely life-changing thing. Sharing stories about boys, college, a bachelorette party, being vulnerable about those things does not give you an award. You're not better than anyone, and it doesn't make you exempt from criticism.
It is my fault that I made an assumption based on this flyer. I was misled by it and I thought that it was going to be like an influencer event slash party. There was also over 450 people on this list, almost 500, which again made me assume that this was going to be a larger scale influencer type party. I want to clarify that I didn't expect her to pay for my Uber and to pay for all my drinks.
But you did. But that was your expectation. Especially in Los Angeles, do you know how difficult it is to just pin down one person to go to lunch? The most relatable thing in this whole situation is that 500 people were invited and like not 500 people showed up. That is such like a classic birthday thing where like you invite people and they don't show up and you cry. Like that is classic.
I was just explaining a standard that I'm used to based on the several other events that I've been to that are advertised or look similar to the flyer and the party pool that this one had. As crazy as it may sound, someone with 50,000 followers can have expectations and standards.
You can have expectations and standards. We all do, going into anything, whether we want to or not. But it's when you express your expectations and standards that's when things go awry. My friend. We live in this world where women are told to raise our standards, and I feel like as a whole we totally have, but I feel like this attitude is just like a negative side effect that we're experiencing. Okay, your expectation and standard wasn't met, then leave. Go do something that you think is better. Something that goes hand in hand with having high expectations and standards is also having grace and respect. Trying to monetize this experience and making this like a thing, no grace, no respect. And you can't expect for people to respect your opinion if you're moving real weird.
I have timestamps and text messages that I was sending all throughout this event, and it just never picked up while I was there. Again, I was there for hours.
You know, providing receipts, it's like, yeah, no, we understand. We got it. You didn't have a good time. That we got.
So I don't understand why this is still a conversation. I posted an OOTD, very excited, even before I got to the event. I had the experience I had. Someone commented and asked if I had fun. I said that I didn't. Then I decided to make a video showing what I saw and why I didn't have fun. And all the bullying and threats that I'm getting that she isn't stopping is not going to change that. I stand by my personal opinion and she stands by hers, and both of those things are okay.
I feel like we all have people in our lives like this that like they think their opinion is so important.
She proved her point in her video that people did end up showing up. It just didn't look like that for the hours that I was there. So that is that. We can wrap this up now because one person's opinion should not shake your personal experience. And I would just never want to be attached to a fandom that has so much hate within it.
We done got her riled up, you guys. We done got her riled up. Cognitive dissonance, I believe, is what we're experiencing here.
I just wouldn't want to be attached to a fandom that has so much hate in their heart.
You're closer than you think. The call is coming from inside of the house. You're saying these words and you're not able to understand what's wrong with them. And everyone else is looking in. And all people can see from their view is you're wearing some white face paint, a really big bow tie, some suspenders, and like you're honking this huge clown nose. That's what we're seeing. Self-importance and entitlement are the sins that are being committed here. Projecting the mistake that you made on people who are trying to support the person who is being wronged in this situation. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how many followers this person has, right? So Reagan, the birthday girl, amidst all of this chaos, decides to respond.
I know people have stress cried before or cried out of anger, but have any of you gotten so angry or upset that you've gotten literal hives? All the birthday shit that's going on right now, it's weird. Why do I have to apologize for anyone because people aren't perceiving a video well of someone else saying they didn't like my birthday party? A friend of a friend, a +1. Especially after trying to reach out to her personally.
I mean, the essence of why this is baffling is because it's just weird. It's because it's like not a normal thing for someone to do. That's why there's no like proper way to address it or react because it's like weirdo behavior.
I don't want to be tried. I want to make my content and have fun with my friends and have a birthday party. Take away all the labels. I'm not a robot. I am a normal human being, a normal 22-year-old girl. Let me have fun with my friends, make my content. Like, I'll call it how it is. It's fucking clout chasing.
And this is something I talk about so much even within my influencer circle. There is such a strong divide between people who identify as influencers and people who identify as content creators. Both are exactly the same thing. So many people will move to LA because they're an influencer and they'll start complaining that everyone's super fake, everyone's awful in LA, this, that, and the other. I have met some of the kindest, most introspective, sweet, life-changing people in this city. If you're hanging out with people that make you feel weird, that's on you. You're the weirdo. You're attracting who you are. There are genuine people in this city that love their jobs, that respect other people, that respect their audience. And this is such a great example between what an influencer is and what a content creator is. In this video, she mentions so many times, like, I just want to make my content, I just want to hang out with my friends, I just want to have a good time. Because at the end of the day, being a content creator is one of the most amazing jobs in the whole world. It's a blessing. Anyone who gets to work like this, it's a blessing. And people who live their life knowing how lucky they are, those are the people that go the distance.
Sit in it. You're the one that made a video about me. If you're getting negatively perceived for a mean video that you made about someone else, I'm not in charge of that. I do not have to make a whole video saying, stop leaving mean comments to this girl. You made a video about my birthday party as someone who wasn't even invited, a +1. Like,
controversial content has always been a thing on like every platform. And I think a lot of the time people will try to engage in these content strategies because they have nothing else left to gain attention. There's no particular skill that they have, or there's nothing that they can really say that can push them forward. So they rely on these controversies to just push them into the limelight. And I think there have been very slim moments where these things have worked, but most of the time, you know, we end up with like a Logan Paul suicide forest situation, right? Because you have to understand, if this is your brand and you're relying on controversy, that's just what you're going to be known for. That's how the Trisha Paytases, the Tannas, that's how all these people have cultivated their audiences. If you're not built for the hate comments, if you're not built to just grow the controversy from the existing controversy, don't do that.
it's hysterical almost, because I'm like, if this is what you have to deal with and this is like the biggest of your problems, going to a lame birthday party and posting that on social media and getting backlash for it, then congrats. Because I've gotten so much backlash for my own birthday party being lame and for me being a loser because of that video that you posted, taking away my spark on my special day. Imagine defending to people online as a normal 22-year-old who just also so happens makes videos. And do I condone the mean things being said? No, don't be a weirdo back. That's just hypocritical. Like, you're doing the exact same thing. Clocked. To call me the bully when all I did was have a birthday party that you didn't like, and that's on you. I'm not even gonna say I'm sorry. Pay it.
Honestly, such a great response, because I really don't think that she really needs to apologize either. She didn't really do anything. And her point saying, like, if this is your biggest problem, then, like, you're lucky. It really goes back to what I was saying before. This is not her biggest problem. This is the only interesting thing that has happened to her that she can make content about. I think all in all, the biggest thing that we need to take away from something like this is that if you have even a little bit of influence, perspective is something that you need to prioritize in your life. In whatever field that you're in, there's always someone doing better than you, and that should be enough to humble you. And you know, if you want to play it that way, you don't need to be nice, but being normal is suggested and good. And I would say bare minimum. But that's my take on the infamous influencer birthday party. I'm so curious to know what you think, so please let me know. Separately from all of this, I'm very happy to be back on YouTube, and I think I'm here to stay. A lot of people have loved my commentary videos on TikTok, but I think that I am ready to move to YouTube. So if you liked this video and you want to see more of me, Cass, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell button to get notified every time I post. As always, it's been grueling breaking all of this down with you, and I will see you next time. Bye!